Hello, and welcome to the Ant-Man channel. It is Wednesday, the 6th of November, 2013. I have an article in front of me from WorldNet Daily, WND.com, under the column Commentary. And this is like from a couple days ago, but I'm going to read it today, by Joseph Farah. Between the lines, Christians, be prepared. Exclusive Joseph Farah exhorts those believers who say, I'll just trust God. So, let's see what he's getting into here. There's an old saying that today's Christians need to hear: don't be so heavily minded that you are of no earthly good. That is what comes to mind when I consider so many American Christians who are waiting exclusively on a rapture to save them from what the Bible clearly warns will be bad times ahead. With all that is happening in the world today, I grieve for Christians who are not making any provision for hard times, not preparing themselves spiritually or materially. The most relatively affluent believers in the world are neither spiritually nor physically prepared for what their Savior promised in Matthew 24 would be like the days of Noah. Let me remind you first about what Noah did to prepare in direct obedience to God. In Genesis 6, God told him to prepare for the greatest natural disaster in the history of the world by storing food for his family and before entering the ark. God provided all the food and the material to build the ark, but he told Noah to gather the food and actually build the ark. In Hebrews 11, read, by faith Noah, being warned of God of things not seen as yet, moved with fear, prepared an ark to the saving of his house, by the which he condemned the world and became heir of the righteousness by which is by faith. Noah was warned by God of things to come, and Yeshua, warned us times like that are coming again. He provided something of a detailed forecast in Matthew 24. Among the things he says is to be ready. Be ready means being prepared both spiritually and physically for the hardships believers will have to endure. Otherwise, we would not be warned. One of the greatest heroes of the faith in the Bible is Joseph. In Genesis 41, Joseph interprets Pharaoh's dream about fat cows and lean cows and healthy wheat and withered wheat. It was a dream God gave to Pharaoh about an impending drought throughout Egypt and much of the Middle East. The solution was preparing for the famine ahead by storing food for 7 years. Joseph was given the job of implementing the plan as Pharaoh's chief operating officer. His work not only saved Egypt, but Israel too. Again, God provided, but men had to be obedient and use their heads to prepare for the calamity. When God gives us warning about impending disasters, believers are supposed to take note and act responsibly to prepare. Proverbs 6 shows that God does not appreciate slothfulness and those who do not think ahead. Go to the ant, thou sluggard, consider her ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer, or ruler, provideth her meat in the summer and gathereth her food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of thy sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want is an unarmed man, and thy want as an armed man. Again, Matthew 24. I love that verse in Proverbs too. That's a really cool one. God tells you to observe the ant because the ant doesn't need anybody behind him whipping him to do work. He just goes out mindlessly almost and kind of gathers food, mindlessly, because you'll come into my house and then I don't really like insects invading my room, so I kind of get the spray. Sorry guys out there that are sensitive toward ants, but anyways, let's see. Again, Matthew 24 warns that natural disasters will increase in frequency and intensity in the last days. And we see them increasing in frequency and intensity. Oh man, if you see what's going on over there in Fukushima right now, that is crazy. The ground under the reactor that's leaking right now is crumbling underneath it, and everyone over there is like, you know what I mean? It's not really shown on the news like as if it's not a big deal, but it's such a big deal, and it's like it's killing people over there. And the ground being unstable under that reactor is not a good thing. That's a tremendously dangerous thing. That's all kinds of bad stuff can happen because of that. Look at Chernobyl. Look at so many places that have nuclear reactors and stuff like that. Like that's not good. Like that could just be the beginning of something like that. It sucks. Um, let's see. He's issuing for you. Da, 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 da. Something about natural disasters. And we see them increase in frequency. Okay, isn't God providing all the information we need to prepare? Aren't we being disobedient by ignoring what He has revealed to us as believers? Yeshua clearly tells us, believers, that conditions on the earth are going to deteriorate before His return. He's not issuing that warning for non-believers. He's issuing it for you, and it's more than spiritual advice. Don't be fooled by anyone who tells you he knows when the rapture is going to happen. It hasn't happened yet, and many a believer have been caught in a catastrophe unprepared. So not preparing materially and physically is foolhardy and irresponsible. No, none of us can be prepared for every unforeseen circumstance, but that's not an excuse for not taking God's warnings or escalating judgment seriously. Proverbs 27:12 tells us, "A prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished." 1 Timothy 5:8 advises, "But if any provide not his own, not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel." Revelation 6 warns of a worldwide famine. Do you think it's responsible to assume you and your loved ones will be long gone by then? Yet I hear too many Christians say, "I'll just trust God." Trust God? He's telling us what's coming. He's telling us very clearly. He's commanding us to be prepared. So doing nothing is the opposite of trusting God. Yeah, that's where the article ends, and I'm just going to go ahead and agree with Joseph Farah. I don't believe that we're supposed to just I think that that's where the Left Behind stuff came from. I think it was kind of engineered so that it can get people to be stagnant and not think that they have to prepare for anything. It's like, oh no, Jesus is going to come back and save me. Well, if you actually read the Bible, it tells you that things are going to get bad and then He's going to come. It's not going to go the other way around. He's not going to come and save us before Holocaust 2.0 happens. This is a test of our faith. This is a He's warning you so that you know how to get through it. But those that are always mocking God, that don't believe in God, they're the ones that are going to get caught up in it. And they're going to be like, what is going on? How did this happen? Well, we're going to know how it happened. And it's going to be yeah, it was going on behind your back the whole time. But you laughed at us. And God kind of looks at those people as good. And this is how holy and just God is. He is laughing at them, good. You know what I mean? Good. That's who all that was for. It was for you. And that's a crazy thought too, because a lot of people say, oh, God's mean. Yeah, God flooded the earth and killed everyone except for 5 people. You know what I mean? There is another side to God that you need to be aware of. He's not just a loving God, hey, I love you. And, he's also God, and He rules. And He's not going to let evil get away with what they've been doing. You know what I mean? He's not going to let the evil spirits and the demons and all that go unpunished. He's going to punish them. Satan he's already lost. He's still going to be. That's why when He's thrown down on earth, He's going to be totally going after all the saints. He's going to be going after you and me because He knows that Jesus lives in us and we are in Him. So He's going to go after us so that He can put up His entire kingdom. And He knows He has a short time. So He's going to try to get everybody to go straight to hell. He's going to get everybody to have to worship Him. And whoever he's going to be, the Antichrist or whatever. And then, that's going to be a total crazy thing we're going to see. I don't know if we're going to see that, to be honest with you. But that's supposedly, from what I've interpreted in Revelation and in Daniel and in all these different books that have all the end times prophecies in them. And even in our times, how you see them happening. It seems to be closer than what people think it is. And it seems to be right at our doorstep. It seems like it gets closer every day, to be honest with you, because unprecedented police things, like the way the police act, almost every single day, it's crazier and crazier, The way that the media reports the news, it's crazier and crazier all the time. You know what I mean? And it's total mind control when you look at it for what it is. It's total mind control. They know that we're awake, but they're keeping all the stupid people asleep so that they can use them for their own purposes and whatever. And you know what I mean? It's just, that's what it is. This is spiritual warfare. This isn't sword and shield. This is mental. This is scientific. This is a real thing going on. And you have to fight for your mind. You have to know what you believe. You have to be sure that you have an answer for the hope that is in you. That's why God tells you to study hard, and that's why I repeat that almost every day. But anyways, hope you guys like my article, and yes, I'm talking to you believers out there to be, practicing servitude because of Christ, for Christ's sake. Serve one another and be good, and you know what I mean? Produce good fruit and all that stuff. God bless you.